The Justice Department Inspector General says the FBI's handling of child sex abuse investigations continues to fall short in key areas years after the Larry Nassar scandal.
Now, an Inspector General report from 2021 found that the FBI failed to act when it first learned Nassar was accused of molesting gymnasts back in 2015. This ultimately led the FBI to implement new policies and trainings regarding sex abuse cases involving children.
But now the Justice Department says its latest investigation found that noncompliance with the new rules persists.
CBS News Justice Department reporter Robert Legare joins us now with more on this. Everything we've just laid out is so disturbing. What prompted this latest investigation by the Inspector General, and what else is in there?
Yeah, good afternoon. So as you said, the Inspector General report in 2021 found grave misconduct within the FBI in its handling of allegations from young gymnasts against Larry Nassar, particularly focused on how these allegations were handled and communicated to other field offices. And this allowed abuse to continue as the FBI kind of didn't do anything in that time period. Well, now, a new report from the Inspector General has found that while some policies have been implemented and there have been some improvements, particularly in how mandatory reporting from FBI agents has been happening over the last few years, agents continue to fall short in noncompliance, documentation, and other issues. Now, this report was prompted because the Justice Department's Inspector General, which is basically an independent watchdog within the Justice Department, launched this investigation to see how the FBI was handling these new policies that were put in place, whether or not they were following these new policies and this new training, and to see how they were handling allegations of sex abuse for children in the wake of this investigation, in the wake of the scandal. Well, again, as we said, the Inspector General found that while some things have improved, other things continue to fall short. There was a 40%. They identified about 327 cases that they were looking at here, and 13% of them, they said, had to be directly and immediately flagged to the FBI because they said they weren't doing enough at all, and some children could be in danger. And so here, the FBI is again under fire.
327 children who were at risk. How has the FBI responded to this probe? How have they said that they plan to fix these compliance problems? Because each of these cases is a child that potentially is being sexually abused at this moment.
Right. So the FBI, when this initial scandal first happened, cleared house in the field offices where these issues took place, and they pledged change, they pledged reform. FBI Director Chris Wray, on numerous occasions on Capitol Hill, said this would not happen again. New compliance measures were put in place. Clearly, there are still some issues, and the FBI is acknowledging that. In speaking to reporters today, a senior FBI official said that they know mistakes were made, and they're working on changing those issues that led to it. But the FBI is also saying that they have increased the amount of cases that they're investigating related to child sex abuse claims. And so they are implementing these changes that the Inspector General suggested. Now, the way Inspector General reports work is they make recommendations to the federal agencies they oversee. And so there were 11 recommendations within the new report that came out today for the FBI to implement that the Inspector General says will make improvements in these areas. 2 of them, according to the Inspector General, have already been completed. That's certain compliance measures, both in their field offices across the country and in a national setting where some of these threats and reports come in. Those things have been remedied, but there are still 9 things outstanding that the Inspector General says they need to see happen within the FBI to fix these problems.
And Rob, all of that only addresses cases in the future. If you're the families of these victims, thousands of them, we just saw on the screen, you would likely be outraged to hear that they just sat on these cases. How are families of Nassar's victims, for example, responding to this IG report?
Right. Well, an attorney for some of the families came out today with a statement saying that this again shows that the FBI needs to do more, and the FBI is acknowledging this in a statement. But the families here are saying that this is just another acknowledgement of how tragic this the situation with Nassar was. Now, just to remind our viewers, the Justice Department entered a $138.7 million settlement with 139 of the victims. They paid about $1 million to each of the victims after this to settle these claims, and so this is just another step forward as the families, the victims, the FBI, the Justice Department all continue to reckon with the aftermath of this event.
All right, Rob Legare, thanks for that update from our D.C. bureau.